Woohoo! This is your cheat sheet for annotating and writing a thesis for the AP Lit exam. Hopefully it works for you. We tried to keep it simple, and your acronym for the Lit exam is in fact LIT, right? So we have applied it for both annotating and for writing a thesis statement. To start with, let's look at annotating, right? So L stands for label and identify all of your characters, your settings, the important details. This is the what of your essay, okay? So what you're writing about. If you think about this too, you're labeling things in your prompt, think about the do what are they actually asking you to do? All right, so then you move to the I. So we're inferring our situation or the context or the complexity, pretty much actually all of it, right? So this is the how of your essay, how you're addressing the prompt. So this is where you can include specific literary devices and how they may contribute to this, the meaning of the work as a whole, right? So at the end, the T again stands for tone words. This is where we think you're probably going to be best suited in getting your sophistication point. If you're able to identify these lit devices, talk about how they contribute to meaning, which can in fact be tone, and then how these tones, these shifting ideas, shifting complexities of these characters contribute to the bigger picture. All right, so you're labeling these things as you go. Based on Dr. H's video last week, I know a lot of you benefited from stealing words from the passage. Do that, all right? And then when it comes time to write your thesis, a strong thesis statement contains a what, how, and why. We've talked about that since last semester when we looked at the 6-point rubric, right? So use the information you gathered in your annotations to create your thesis statement and to provide the purpose of your essay, right? So readers from the rainbow specifically said that kids are good at the what and the how, but they're not good at the why, right? You can label things, you can identify them, but tying it to that extra big picture is what's going to set your essay apart from every single kid's essay that they read, all right? So in your thesis, you need to talk about what you're writing about. Okay, this could include the keywords like the complexity of the relationship. It should also include specifics, right? So if you're going to say there's a complex relationship between the woman and her daily life, all right, what is complex about it, right? You have this dichotomy of her longing for something else and then also understanding like that what they're doing is purposeful, okay? And then you have the I. So how are you going to address it? This could be your devices if you want it to be. Be careful whenever you do something like that in a thesis. If you're listing devices, you don't break your essay up by device. You continue to stay on track with breaking it up by paragraphs, right? And then T for why it even matters. Awesome. So a couple of things to think about. Sometimes you guys get caught up on point of view. Don't get caught up on it unless it 100% contributes to your argument, right? So it is absolutely important that it is first person, that we are able to better understand this person's growth, their maturation, enlightened thought, okay? Then include it. If it's third person limited or third person omniscient, how does that shift our perspective of the story? But only if it's relevant and only if you know how to write about it. And then also don't forget that the setting or year in which the passage was written is super important. And if you look at the rainbow, that plays a factor into the society the woman is living in, right? So this is from one of the sample essays, thesis that they came up with through the use of rhetorical questions, repetition, and contrasting imagery, which we can all agree are all in there. Okay, so we have a what. Lawrence effectively demonstrates the woman's novel concept of desire of understanding the unknown, so our how, and then her underlying pursuit of liberation, her why. All right, so could this be developed further? Sure, but in a thesis, do you necessarily have to have that? No, right? So your goal is to list your what, how, and why, and then you're good to go.